Good morning, my crafty friends. It's Claire here from Craft Bee Claire, and I'm back here with you today with Junk Journal July UK, and today is day 18 and it's paper houses. So I've gathered a few bits together. This is a lovely image from a magazine. It was just an article about the decline of the high street. These are just images taken from, I think it was Country Life magazine. I've got a friend who gives them to me and I just harvest images, and I've just backed them onto card to make them thicker. I don't know whether I'm going to use those or not, but I'll have them for later. And my background paper is taken from May 1963 Idle Home magazine, and it's full of absolutely hilarious adverts, like would so not be PC today, about how the woman's place is in the home. But yeah, so this is a gem. I've got a couple of these and I constantly use bits and bobs out of them. So I stuck that page down, and this is the advert for getting the Idle Home magazine. So in it, there was a little slip that you give to your newsagent to ask him to keep you the Idle Home. So I'm going to keep that. I'm definitely going to use that today. And also using some of my stamps. I've just stamped onto simple notebook paper that I've just stuck onto some white card to make it thicker. And we're going to use those to make some like bookmark pocket inserts. So I'm going to use this image as a pocket, and it's quite flimsy. It was across 2 pages, so I've had to stick it together. So I'm going to go to my England book, and I'm just going to pull out a page. The reason I'm using this one is because the pages are really thick quality paper, and it's nice to be able to glue stuff onto it and then cut round it. I'm just going to use my trusty large glue stick. I'm just going to give it a good layer of glue all over the image, getting right up into those fiddly bits at the top. And I am aware the image is slightly bigger than the page, but for now that doesn't matter because I can trim it up once we've fussy cut it and we put the pocket in place. So I'm actually going to stick it to the straight edge because that's then an edge I don't need to worry about cutting. And just stick it down, making sure it's all stuck down nice and firm. And actually, I'm not going to worry too much about that edge because that's the edge we're going to cut off in a minute. So I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to fussy cut with a slight border, because the image looks like it's like a fine pen sketch over watercolours. I don't want to take out any of that image. So when I cut it out the magazine, I did leave a little bit of the magazine page, and I'm just going around the outside of that, cutting it out of the card. It's going to make a lovely pocket. So I've had a busy few days in the garden, catching up with other projects, and yesterday I had a well-earned day out after a meeting about social media advertising that I do for our local food bank, and I went to Banbury, which has the Orinoco scrap store. I will see if they're online, and if they are, I'll tag them in the description below. And I was very good. I only spent £14. I was in there an hour and a half rummaging. Their prices have gone up quite a bit, so I was looking for specific things. I was looking for doilies, stamps, die cuts that I can use, old photos, but they didn't have any. Well, they had one that they let me adopt this photo. So he's going to appear later in something. So I've cut this out. I'm just going to give it, just in case there's any white coming through, just a quick one round the edge, or round the outside, and then I'm just going to use my Yoo-hoo, just give it a thin line. Oh, that's it. Just a thin line of glue around the outside, and then I'm going to come down here. I might need a little bit more glue. I might need to get a needle out to unblock my glue. And then I think, yeah, it's about there. I'm going to come up the edge. There we go. That's giving me a decent amount of glue. And as with yesterday, I'm going to stick this one down, and then I'm going to grab one of my plastic wallety or bits of plastic, and I just stick it in the pocket just to stop the whole pocket sticking. And because I'm using quite a runny glue, sometimes it seeps out the edges, and what you don't want is then to try and put stuff in your pocket and the whole pocket to have been completely sealed in. So I'm just going to pop that down into the corners. A little bit more glue on here. Make sure it's stuck. And just trim off this edge. And just trim. Oh, I've got an extra page, have I? Yeah, I've got an extra page stuck, but that's okay. Let me just unstick it. I haven't done the backs of any of my pages, and maybe something I come back to later, but for now they're just all kind of creating a piece of artwork in itself. Well, anyway, yes, I was saying about my trip to Banbury yesterday. I met the most lovely lady in the works, and we were having a giggle about the amount of fabric we have. And we just got chatting, and we were proper chatting for about half hour outside the works, just chatting about crafting. And she was telling me her story and how there's a craft group in Banbury, and I'd be most welcome to come along. And it was so nice just to meet other crafters, and we do just kind of click and chat, don't we? And that's the lovely thing about crafting. So that's my basic pocket. I'm going to pop that to one side, just to let that dry. And I'm going to come to these. Now, I wanted to put these in because they're lined paper and they can just be a journal card. But I'm going to tear, so I'm going to try and line that up with that. And I'm going to tear it up, maybe a little bit out. Tear it all the way up. And then do the same on this side. So just tearing. And then going to kind of just roughly cut around the top of the stamp. So these are just a set of house gel stamps that I have. And I just printed them onto this notebook paper, just taken out of a cheap shorthand notebook, jotter's pad, whatever they call them, that it hasn't even got a cover on it. I think I picked it up as a scrap paper at the Gloucester scrap store one time. I am planning a day out in the summer with my crafty friends to go to the Gloucester scrap store and have a good rummage. We haven't been there for a while. We try and leave a couple of months in between, because otherwise you end up with so much stuff you don't know what to do with it. So there's that one cut, and I'm just going to pop these in the pocket. So that is about the right height, and because that's quite a wide one, I'm going to leave it at that height. But what I am going to do is just tear off the bottom, so you've got that torn effect all the way around. I'm not going to edge it. I might add some colour to that in a minute. So that's going to go in. Then I've got, I'm not going to use this Twee Candy House. I think it's a bit naff. For what I want today, but I am going to do this one. And so I find if I've only got a tiny bit I want to tear off, if I put, because these rulers have got cork on the back, if I put the ruler with the cork on the back and I actually hold on to the wider bit, it tears quite nicely. I've been trying to tear off the little strips and you end up with it all bits and bobsy, and sometimes that's the effects I want to go for, other times not so much. So just these are just from the range. They're non-skid ones. They're really cheap actually. I think they might be like £1 each. I've got a couple of them. I do love a ruler. In fact, I just love stationery. A sucker for stationery. So we're going to have that one. And I'm going to tear this one slightly shorter. So we know I tore off just the bottom bit. So I'm going to come up 2 for that one. And pop that in the pocket. Let's get rid of all this rubbish. And let's tear this one. And this one. And I quite like this one, that it's got the lamppost with it. I do have some pattern tear rulers, but I find the metal one gives the best tear because it holds it down and it's quite a sharp edge for you to tear against. You can use like a blunt stabby tool, and that is what they're known in my things. I've got them in a drawer labelled stabby things, cutty things, sticky things. Just covers all bases, doesn't it, really? But you could use a blunt stabby thing and just score down the edge if you wanted to. So we did cut 2 off the bottom of that one, so I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. I'm just going to come in and cut that many off the bottom. So that's all scrap, so we'll push that to one side. Let's take the plastic out of the pocket, just check. Yep, it's all stuck down. Yep, we've gained an extra page again. Might have to just put a bit of plastic under that to stop it sticking. So nice and simple today. I'm going to just pop these in the pocket. We could have them coming out like this. And then I'm going to use, I really like this image of the country cottage. This would be my dream home, a lovely Georgian house with the double front with nice big rooms. Unfortunately in the Cotswolds you need to be a millionaire to own one of those. But I quite like this country cottage as well. So this is a farmhouse. I quite like the country cottage, but the farmhouse I think is going to fit with the town aesthetic. And I know that sounds bizarre, but looking at the lines and the shape, it kind of fits. So I want to pop that on. Where am I going to stick it? Do I stick it there? I'm going to stick it on the edge here because it has got a natural edge. And as always, out come the sticky pads. Just to give it a little bit of depth, so it's not just flush. And as I said, I just stuck these on to just thin printer card just to give it a little bit of stability, because they're just thin magazine paper and it would easily rip. So just do a couple in the middle. As you can imagine, I go through sticky pads quite a lot, but they always seem to be something you can pick up for like 10p in scrap stores. And I picked up a lovely paper pack yesterday that is a Secret Garden pack. And in it was a pack of these sticky pads. And I was like, genius, I can always use sticky pads. It's got some nice vellums and some washi pad tape. And I think I paid like, I think it was 70p. And it's one of those packs, you know, you get them free on the front of magazines. They're often what I pick up in the charity shops. I was desperately looking for a Bulldog Clib stamp because although I've got one, it's quite a diddy tiny one. And I've been looking for a big one after seeing Lindsay's lovely Bulldog stamps that she does. And I just think that's genius. And I did receive my Happy Mail from Junk Journal Fairies UK this week. And in it was some lovely book corners and page tabs. So I think I'm going to use one of those today. I'm going to get them out and have a go. And Kim, who sent me that, I'm most grateful. It came at just the perfect time. So I'm going to leave that. Your next ideal home. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to get... what am I going to get? What am I going to get? Ooh. Problem with having so many pens and pencils. Do you know what? I'm going to go old school. I'm going to get some wax crayons. And with the wax crayon, I'm just going to go in, and I'm not going to colour it in. I'm just going to go around some of the detail and just giving it a little bit of definition. No particular kind of order. I'm not pretending the light's coming from any direction. I'm just going around some of the lines as the mood takes me. It just will make it pop a bit and not just look like something white stuck in the page. I am off to work in a bit, so I'm hoping, I am trying to rush through this video because I want to get it finished and uploaded before I go to work, because I'm at work all day tomorrow, so I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to do tomorrow's video if I don't get it done tonight. When I come home from an all day at work, I'm done. I'm just dead. I can't really focus or do anything. It just completely takes it out of me. And I thought it was really interesting that Lindsay mentioned the menopause brain fog, because that is real. I mean, we should have like a Menopausal Crafters Anonymous where we just talk about the things we start and then we forget that we're doing, and the things we buy and we forget we've got them until we start sorting through stuff and we go, oh, that's where I thought I had that. So just adding just a little bit of wax crayon in. I'm not fussed the fact that the stamp hasn't completely stamped everything, because that just adds to the effect of it. And like, I could have made some more, but I thought, you know what a waste. Let's just use what we've got. So I'm just going to go around the arches, just add in a bit of colour. Let's have a bit of colour on the flags. And a bit of colour on that roof. Around the arches again. So that's that one. Oh, let's just add a little bit of yellow on the light. So one, pop that in my pocket. So, oh no, where's it gone, that one? So just want to do the roof. Just add in a little bit of detail. Nothing too perfect or exact. And that's the beauty of the journaling, is sometimes when I finish the video, I sit and look at my page and I think, oh no, I need to add something else to that. So if you're on Junk Journal Community Chat, quite often you'll see the photo is slightly different to what how I've left the video, because I've looked at it and gone, oh dear, that needs something else. But that's the beauty of the journaling, isn't it? You can add to it, you can take away from it, you can completely just disregard it, and there's no right or wrong. It's all down to your personal your personal view on things. And I mean, whilst I am quite a perfectionist myself, this challenge has really helped me just be a little bit more free in what I'm doing. Because I'm videoing it, I know I've said before, it gives me the time restraints, and it means that I've got to think about it before I start it. Which is always good for me, rather than just sit staring at a page waiting for inspiration to come to me, which it doesn't always. Sometimes I just sit and look at a page and I'm like, I really don't know what to do. That is roughly when Google comes my friend, and I discover what other people have done and kind of magpie a few ideas. I was a little bit stuck on this page. I think I'd got too many resources out. So whilst I was getting dressed for work this morning, I watched Lindsay's video and was like, yeah, do you know what? I've got that image that I'd already cut out that I can use for a pocket. Because I was like grabbing an envelope and I was trying to make a house out of an envelope. And then I was like, no, I've got that lovely house, that lovely street scene. So there's some lovely pockets in there. I feel like it needs something else. So let's go back to our idle home. Let's just maybe find a couple of adverts that we can cut out, that we can pop in the pocket as well. Antique cutlery. Oh, I like that. It's a bit big though, isn't it? Let's have a quick look. Do you know what? Let's take her and, sorry Lindsay, I'm going to completely still, and I'm going to make her into a paper fairy. Let's just completely go whimsical. Let's completely just add her to the page. She looks like she's having a laugh and a giggle, and that's what home should be about, isn't it? It's a safe place where you can have a laugh, you can have a giggle, you can be a bit of a loon, you can have up days, down days, and no one will judge. That's just your family or your friends or those you love are just around you and should really just accept you as you are. That's taken me a long time to accept me as me, and now the only people I have in my life are those people who do accept me as me. It's a long learning curve, but we get there, and so much healthier and happier for it. I'm going off on a tangent and now I'm waffling. I'm trying to fill space, which I don't really need to do, so I'm just cutting around her. And because I'm trying to use up my stickers, I am going to find her a set of wings in my butterfly stickers. And then I might just do a little, kind of little slogan. Home is where the heart is, or home is where, like, where you can make mistakes, where you can chill, where you can walk around in pyjamas for 3 days and no one bats an eyelid, unless you start to stink, which in this weather, let's be honest, we all stink. I especially do. So I'm going to add her. I'm just going to pop her in the corner there. What we might need to do is just cut a little bit more off, because otherwise she's not going to fit. So she does look like she's got a very short scone, so I'm going to just pop her on the edge there. Let's find her some butterfly wings. Where's my butterfly sticker? Where are they? In this drawer somewhere. Come on. What have I done with them? I had them out the other day. Clocks. Butterflies. It's like a ridiculously large pack. So I'm going to completely pick, so I'm going to find some nice big wings, a nice big butterfly. They're quite small. let's pick the purple. Let's just have a look in the purple. So, you want a nice, oh, look at those. And they've got a little bit of shimmer on them. I did find a couple of really nice butterfly stamps, but because this is an off the cuff, I'm just going to use one of my stickers. Had I thought I was going to do this, I might do her blue or purple. Purple, I think. Don't think I've got a big pink one. No, that's quite nice. There, that one. That one pulls all the colours together. So I'm just going to snip, snip, snip up the middle. And just take off that horrible white edge. Don't know why they print stickers with a white edge, but I haven't bought any stickers apart from ones that have come in packs that I've bought from the scrap store since I've started this challenge. So that is a huge step for me. Just go around, get rid of any white that's still on there. And just going to have these coming up from out of her neck. And the other one. As I said, yes, so I'm trying to use up what I've got, not buy any more. Have a look at stamps, making some of my own kind of stickers. I have got some washi tape paper that I could print onto, but kind of using book papers, sheet music. Try and just be a little bit more mindful about my spending and other things and bobs. I'm just going to end that because I don't want to talk to them. My phone just started ringing. I will call them back in a minute. So yeah. Oh, look how cute that is. So because they're stickers, I'm just going to leave the backs on. I don't need to unstick them. And I'm going to have them. How did I put them? So it's like that. And like that. Let's just get a little bit of glue. Just going to put a little bit of glue on the edge. I'm just going to pop them in. So I had them behind her and then just coming up and over her like that. I'm going to do the same for this one. Just coming up out of her a little bit like that. Lovely. And then I'm just going to put lots of glue all over the back of her so she sticks down nicely. I could have stuck her on some card and made her a little bit 3D as well, but I quite like her like this. I might have to lift that corner. We're going to stick her in. And let's go back and see if there is any kind of like really good little quotes about home that we can just cut out and we can stick onto our page. In any home, I will definitely remember that's there. I like that. Make yours a special world to live in. So I'm just going to cut across that. That's a blind advert. And then I'm just going to cut that along. Just all the way along. And it says Ideal Home, and then let's have that coming round the corner. Make yours a special world to live in. We might just need, I'm just going to stick that on the edge. And let's just, yeah, there we go. Ideal Home. So I'm just going to do that one as well. So I'm just going to glue this down. So let's go Ideal Home. Just going to take those out for a minute. Your next Ideal Home. Your next Ideal Home, make yours a special world to live in. And then we've got some little notebook paper. We've got our lovely fairy. We've got our message to the newsagent. And then if I find anything else, I will add it. But I'm going to use... where's that note? I think I probably could use the bottom of that. So I'm just going to make my side tab with this piece of leftover from the bookmarky notebooks. And what have we got? What day? 18. So 18 paper house. Okay, and because I've got all of these bits here, this is actually going to have to come right out at the bottom here. So I'm just going to glue that at the bottom there. Just gluing it. Okay. And then just glue that in the bottom corner. Tuck doggy above it. Oh, making sure I've only got one page. Yep. And there we have today's page. Absolutely fantastic. Right. There we go. So Ideal Home, make yours a special world to live in, paper houses, bookmarks, and we're all finished. Thanks for watching.